Another example, here we have I can say that if absolute x less than a certain number c, that means x less than c and greater than negative c, or between the two numbers negative c and c. And if I said that x greater than absolute x greater than a certain number c, that means x less than negative c or x greater than c. Let's take an exercise. Solve absolute 2x plus 1 minus 3 greater than or equal 6. Before we start, find the value of the absolute greater than or less than a certain number, okay? Then 6 plus 3 equal 8, 9. That means 2x, absolute 2x plus 1 greater than or equal 9. What about greater than or equal? We are going to divide the problem into two cases. First one, 2x plus 1 greater than or equal 9. And second one, solve for this inequality. It will be 2x greater than or equal 9 minus 1, 8. Then x greater than or equal 4. And the other one will be 2x plus 1 less than or equal negative 9. That means 2x less than or equal negative 10. Because we have 2x, we are going to divide both sides by 2. That means x less than or equal negative 5. Finally, I have two intervals. First one, x greater than or equal 4, close the interval, and or x less than or equal negative 5. That means r except negative 5 to 4, open interval, because negative 5 and 4 is closed in the origin problem. For example, here we have 2x 2w minus absolute 2w minus 5 greater than 7. That means we have two conditions, maybe 2w minus 5 greater than 7 or less than negative 7. Solve the two inequalities. That means 2w greater than 12, then w greater than 6, or 2w less than negative 2. That means w less than negative 1. So the solution set will be two intervals from 6 open to infinity, and from negative infinity to negative 1. That means r except negative 1 and 6, because it was open, so I'm going to close the interval. Absolute value of 4x minus 2 less than negative 18. Before we start, if the absolute value equal negative number, there is no solution. Another example, here we have 4x, absolute 4x minus 6 less than or equal 22. If it was less than, that means the value of the absolute between negative 22 and 22, greater than or equal negative 22 and less than or equal 22. Solve the equation for x, then it will be add 6 to all sides. It will be for x less than or equal 28, greater than or equal negative 16. Finally divide by 4. X will be greater than or equal negative 4 and less than or equal 7. That means the solution set equal closed interval from negative 4 to 7. Another example, here we have absolute 3x minus 9 greater than 18. That means we have two solutions. First, 3x minus 9 greater than 18 or 3x minus 9 less than negative 18. Solve for x. 3x minus 9 greater than 18, it will be 3x. Add 9 to both sides. 3x greater than 27. Then divide it by 3. X greater than 9. And also 3x less than negative 9. Finally, x less than negative 3. So here we have the solution set will be R, except start from negative 3 to 9, but it was open, so I'm going to close the interval. Absolute 4x minus 9 less than or equal 21. That means less than or equal, that means the value of the absolute between negative 21 and 21. Finally, it will be 4x minus 9 between negative 21 and 1. Solve for x plus 9 to both sides. That means 4x greater than or equal negative 12 and less than or equal 30. Finally, divided by 4. X greater than or equal negative 3 and less than or equal 7.5. So the solution set close the interval negative 3 to 7.5, and also on the number line like this. Another example, 2x plus 1 greater than 7. That means we have two cases. First, 2x plus 1 greater than 7 or 2x plus 1 less than negative 7. Subtract 1 from both sides. 2x will be greater than 6. That means x greater than 3. Go to the other inequality. 2x less than negative 8. Finally, x less than negative 4. On the number line, here I have x greater than 3 and less than negative 4. Finally, the solution set will be R, except negative 4 to 3, and because it was open, I'm going to close the interval. Absolute 3x minus 2 plus 3 greater than or equal 11. First, find the value of the absolute. It will be 3x minus 2 greater than 11 minus 3. That means 8. That means 3x minus 2 greater than or equal 8 or less than or equal negative 8. Solve the inequality for x. First case will be 3x greater than or equal 10. That means x greater than or equal 10 over 3 means 3 and 1 over 3. Go to the other inequality, 3x less than or equal negative 6. That means x less than or equal negative 2. Finally, the solution set will be R, except negative 2 to 3 and 1 over 3 or 10 over 3. Because it was closed, I'm going to open the interval. absolute x minus 5 less than 3. That means the value of the absolute between negative 3 and 3. Then solve for x. It will be x greater than or negative 3 plus 5 and 3 plus 5 between 2 and 8, open interval from 2 to 8.